Hello, this is Trangbo at the California ISO. Thanks for joining us for the Application Delivery Resiliency Forum, February 21, 2024. The call and webinar is being recorded and will be published on the ISO website for your convenience. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. It might be a quick call today. All right. So the agenda is the same. So we'll go over the overview, status and timeline, actions required, support, the UIs, the APIs, the global rate limiting and AEP, next steps and references. Okay. So we'll continue to have this meeting. Right now they're scheduled on the kaiso.com calendar Wednesdays through the end of March, and then we will adjust that schedule as needed to support the final transition. So let's look at the overall status and timeline. For the UIs, again, all new UI URLs except for TR are available now. And then TR will be aligned with the TR upgrade planned for February 27th. Or I added the MPP, Market Participant Portal, production cutover. That is scheduled for tomorrow, Thursday, February 22nd, and that should be 1400 to 1500 Pacific time. The old UI URLs were decommissioned to 6th, and then for the BAYAP and BSAP UI URLs, we're planning February, but we're still working through known issues there before we finalize the date. And then for APIs, we have one remaining known issue that we're working through before we identify a final date for that. Okay. All right. So this is just the overall table. No updates since last week's review. And then this is just a reminder of the actions if you do have issues to report. So no changes here. And then this is helpful information to provide to us to help us troubleshoot your issue. No updates there. So I'll just cover here, again, just to reiterate the UI status. There's no new information here. What's coming up again is going to be tomorrow's Market Participant Portal cutover from 1400 to 1500 Pacific time. And then we have BAYAP and BSAP UI deprecation of the old URLs. That is planned for February, but we do not have a specific date yet. And then again, TR will be planned for February 27th, the introduction of the new URL. And I'll go over the known issues, and then I'll stop at the end for questions there. Okay. All right. So we have a couple items here to discuss. The first one is for BAYAP, but we're also going to hold BSAP and combine BAYAP and BSAP. So while the issue was reported specifically for BAYAP, there might be impacts to BSAP too. So we're going to continue to keep BAYAP and BSAP UIs together. So the issue was reported to us last week. So we're working on having customer working sessions this week to make progress on the BAYAP automatic window closures. And then for MapStage Market Participant Portal, we did get a report on last week's call of some intermittent issues there, failures. So we did get a city submitted after the call and some more information from our customers about the intermittent failures to load the MPP page after being able to select a certificate, as well as receiving an ISO error.html after a few minutes after a successful load. So our team did look into that and saw that there were some older pages that needed to be published, and the team did notify the customer that sometimes those errors might show up when there are older pages. And the city case is set to resolve and pending the customer retesting of that in MapStage. So does anybody have any questions on any of the UI topics that I covered here for the schedule or the known issues and next steps? All right, I'll go ahead and move forward to the APIs. Okay, So we don't have a new target date yet for the APIs. We understand the impact of that cutover, so we want to be sure that we resolve the remaining known issue. Okay, so first I'll give an update on the buffer size. So this one, last week we mentioned that we did put a change in, and the preliminary initial results of the retesting of submissions against that new buffer size were successful. And we monitored this over the last week, and thanks to all those that have submitted feedback since the last week, we are happy to report that there have been no there have been no reports of any failed retesting of those larger payloads. We are still looking for confirmation from some of the customers that we're still testing in production so that we can close those cities out. But there's nothing new to report here, but we will be reaching out to the customers that still have open city cases to provide a final closure on this one. Does anybody have any questions or comments or updates on the intermittent connection resets? All right, good. Okay, so the last API item is this intermittent HTML response for Big IP logout page. So again, we've received more information from customers, and we're still reviewing that and would like to test a couple of these theories with customers. So I see we do have T. Leon, and I wanted to thank you for providing more information. And so we'll be reaching out to you to test the reuse of the MRH sessions. And then we, for the user certificate configuration, we'll be working with the organization that reported that to discuss further. Okay. All right. So that's all I have for this one, and there are no new API issues reported. Does anybody have any questions or comments on any of the API topics? All right. So let's go on. For global rate limiting and acceptable use policy, there are no updates to this at all. We still have one city case for an enhancement request that we're reviewing, but again, that's not a showstopper for us to cut over to the new APIs that will start enforcing the new AUP for DRS, MRIS, and CMRI. Any questions or comments on global rate limiting and AUP? All right. And that takes us to the end of our presentation for today. We do have a call scheduled, same time next Wednesday, to hopefully be able to provide more updates after some working sessions this week. Right. And again, you have.
Frank, this is Bruce.
Hey, Bruce. Nice to hear from you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were ending the meeting here. I just wanted to kind of see if you. Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned last time, we're using the new BSAP API. Everything's fine, no problems since we turned that over. But the BAYOP after the fact, I think Kate sent you some data on that. Just wanted to make sure that was. See if you thought about doing anything with that, or if you guys had any ideas on how to resolve it like you did the other thing.
Yeah, so Bruce, after the call, we did take a look at your submissions for BAYOP, and we worked with your vendor because it looked like the URL that you were using for BAYOP had some typos in it. It was duplicating the SST/BAYOP, and so I think that was the issue. I'm sorry if that information didn't get back directly to you, but I can put that. I can send that to you right after the call, and see if you can look into that. But that's what it looks like on our side for you.
Hey, I like it when you identify our problems. It makes it easy for me to retest. So send me that thing, and
I will.
Get with PCI and see how we didn't get notified of that. But I'm sure Kate, Jackie, and I will we'll do some retesting on that here. So once we touch base with PCI, make sure they made that change.
Yeah, thank you. I see Kate and Jackie joined too. So, just to reiterate, I'll send the information to you, Bruce and Jackie and Kate, and put it in the city case. But again, we did look into that BAYOP failure that you saw last week, and saw that there were typos in the API URL that you were using, and it just duplicated /SST/BAYOP. So it was showing that twice. Yeah, but the good news is we were able to see the traffic come, and it looked like a pretty straightforward error. So I'll get that information to you, and then if you retest that and just let us know if you still have issues, then we'll be happy to reach out to you prior to the next call, so you don't have to wait for next Wednesday to report any findings. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you to the ISO team too for looking into that quickly last week. So. All right. Okay. And then again, for this, all the previous presentations are posted. This one will be posted after the meeting. But again, the information references are in the previous presentations too, so you can refer back to that. And if you do have any questions or comments from before next meeting, then send a city case or reach out to us directly. So my information and Hugo's information is here too. Okay. All right. Any final questions or comments today? All right, then I hope you have a great rest of your day, and then we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.